Come to the circle, teach peace with me. Come to the circle of light.
Okay, the topic today is going to be awareness of dreaming, which comes from one of my favorite quotes in the teacher's manual. It says, awareness of dreaming is the real function of God's teachers. They watch the dream figures come and go, shift and change, suffer and die, but they are not deceived by what they see. So I've been thinking a lot about, those markers you have on maps or on mall maps or on when you get a MapQuest something, the things that say, you are here, those little arrows that say, you are here. All right. So the ego says, you are here. You are here in the middle of this world of time and space. That's where you are. That's what you are. And the Holy Spirit is saying, no, you're here. You're here. Come on up here. Come up above the battleground. So let me just review what this chart is all about here, this particular mind map. So this whole thing here in purple is a dream. It's the dream that resulted from saying, what if, it's a tiny mad idea, what if I could be on my own? Out here is reality, which is unchanged, God unchanged, oneness unchanged, and the self, the divine self, unchanged. But we're having a dream here, and the dream is dualistic. This dreamer immediately splits because there's the original tiny mad idea is a wish, and our wish is as powerful as God's command because it's all the power of our will, which is one with God's, in this wish. This wish is falling asleep here. This is the closed eye. So now here instantly the wish is fulfilled. Like Freud said that dreaming is wish fulfillment. Well, on every level, that's true. Here is the ego thought system, and then here in the middle, which is the only thing that we're aware of, is our world of bodies and time and space. SIN, sin, stands for separation is necessary. For me to fulfill my wish of being separate on my own, having my own autonomy, I have to believe that separation happened. It's real. So it's going to do everything possible to keep asleep. It's going to do everything possible to defend this. Now, the first thing it does, it fills this ego thought system here, of which we are not aware, is filled with guilt. The terrible guilt, because I believe I separated, so now I'm guilty about having separated. My separating means I destroyed perfect oneness. God's out to get me, so I'm filled with fear, so this is filled with guilt and fear. Self-hatred, unworthiness, which is always, which is where all these bodies arise from. That's the ground of our being as egos in the world, is sin, guilt, and fear. But we all make a face of innocence, and that means we all make a victim story, and somebody else did it. And so we are compelled, as we go through life after life after life, because this is going to be circular. We're going to try body after body, and persona after persona, and we have to find someone to blame, because this guilt is pressing in on us. This invisible thought system here that we can't see. It's always there, and it's pressing in on us. And that's why just simple things like just about any sports figure, let's say a very successful sports figure, you're going to get injured, or you're going to be treated unfairly by your team, or you're going to have it and then you're going to lose it. This happens to golfers all the time. They reach the top. They're on top for a couple of years, and then all of a sudden they can't hit a thing. And that's that feeling of, I don't deserve this. I need to pay for this. I've had things my way too much. I've won too many whatevers. And so I have bad things happen to me. And that happens to all of us on every level. Now, there's actually nothing happening here, even though we think our selves are so wonderful in our lives and our histories and our stories, and they're so real and dear to us, which is really, this dream is dear to the ego, this idea of being separate, and it does not want to give it up. But in the same instant that we had this unholy idea of being separate, here's the correction. And the correction is this awareness of dreaming. There's the part of the mind, which is called the right mind, which is aware. It's just a dream. Nothing happened. That's the atonement. Nothing happened. So this is where you would find, call it the Holy Spirit, or call it Jesus, or call it Buddha, or call it presence. It doesn't matter. Call it angels, call it devas. You can give any symbolic form to it you want, but it's these voices are telling us, come home, wake up, wake up, wake up. It's just a dream. Now, truly being awake would be, this whole thing would vanish. So we're not even called to awaken, we're just called to awareness. That's our function, is to become aware. So later on today, I'm going to talk about meditation as the way that ways that people try to access this other part of the mind. And because this becomes so painful in here, a lot of people do meditation just because their worlds are so crazy and chaotic that they feel that meditation will make them feel better, or will even help them to awaken. So, what I have a thing on the website I will attach to this video called it's called The Path of Looking. So the function of this up here is looking, and we're not asked to awaken to bliss. You can't get to the bliss until you go through the not bliss, through the crap that's up here. You have to look at this and decide, I don't want it anymore. But you can't make a meaningful decision that you don't want this anymore until you get back here and see that I am making up all the things that are happening on the screen here. I am the author. I am the dreamer of the dream. One way to do that is to look at there are many workbook lessons that will help you with that. There are workbook lessons. If you look at those workbook lessons, a lot of them make no sense if you see it from the point of view of I am a body. For instance, I am the light of the world. Now, who can say that with a straight face? Do you really believe you're the light of the world? Well, this is the light of the world up here. It's the light that says, it turns the light on. The little kid is seeing shadows in the darkness and ghosts and hiding under the bed and is afraid of what's in the closet and so on and so forth. And this just turns the light on. I am doing this. I am doing this. So I am the light of the world. That's one of the ways, if you look at those I statements in the workbook, you can see that the purpose of the whole workbook is to take you out of here back to here. That's what that I is doing. It's never talking about I, the body. It's always talking about I, the dreamer. I, the dreamer, am the light of the world, and I have a choice of dreams while I'm dreaming. I have invented the world I see. I have invented the world I see down here. My thoughts are images I have made. My thoughts that are in here are images that appear on the screen here. So, ego says, you are here. Holy Spirit says, you are here. This is where choice is. This is where agency is. This is the only doing that's possible in the dream. There's no doer here. And we don't like that message at all. The whole world, the body was made because it's a doer. Bodies do things. They work, they recreate, they buy clothes, they drive places, they do errands, they they contract business deals, they vote, whatever it is, they do. They plan. That's part of the doing, to plan things. And the only doing is my eye open or is my eye closed? Or you could say there's a doing of looking. If you're going to come up here, you have to look. That.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about this coming over and asking the question, you said there's only two doings, right? Eyes open, eyes closed.
All right.
And I was asking myself, why don't I choose eye open more often? And what occurred to me was, is the more I realize what a mess this dream experience is and how horrible it is, the more I get that, the more I'll make that choice to go to the right mind and I guess be more clear that, it is a dream. It's a nightmare. It's really not a dream. Any thoughts about that? Is that?
Well, yes, and one of the things that we have to look at is this part of the mind. We have to look at the fact how in love with this we are. I love my story. I don't care if it's miserable. In fact, you have to look at the fact that when somebody treats you unfairly, calls you names, there's part of you that loves it. Loves it. When your body gets sick, there's a part of you that loves it. Because your sick body is saying to other people, you did this to me. So the Course says, in your suffering of any kind lies your own concealed desire to kill. Well, here's the desire to kill, and then it's all in through this thought system here. This is what crucified Christ. The Christ in all of us. You could say that this is the divine child, and here is the crucifier. And we keep looking for people to crucify. All the while proclaiming that, I would never crucify anybody. I'm such a good person. We have to look over and over and over in order to be aware of how much we love this. Until we are aware of how much we love this, the pain, the suffering, the angst, the hurt feelings, the economic disasters, the whatever seems to be going on, we made it. We are putting these images on the screen. Nothing just happens, though we constantly ask as if something just happens. Well, let's say somebody cuts you off in traffic. You put that car there to do that. You said, come on, cut me off. You did that, and you love it when they do it, because then you could curse and give them the finger and whatever it is however it is that you respond. And it keeps you separate. It says, we're different. That's part of the investment here, is making differences. The ultimate difference is there's me and there's God. Now, there's two of us, not just one, there's two. That says the separation happened. But yeah, you have to look over and over and over, and you have to see yourself falling back into the dream over and over and over and over. But you will, I can see an upward arc by looking backwards. That's the only way you can see it. You can say, well, I don't spend as much time in misery as I used to. I don't make myself sick as often as I used to. I don't blame as many people as I used to. I really find that I am being more peaceful. So, anything else?
That's it.
So somebody cuts you off in traffic. How do you look at that? Do you just notice it, or should you
All right.
maybe try to see how
Mitch is
your
not
guilt-
noticing anything. Mitch is just a puppet.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So maybe that will lead us into the path of looking, which is the next segment.
Okay.
Okay.